Welcome back to the Kerbal Space Program. This is part 4 of our Minmus landings. So far we have had many exciting things happen. We had a rough trip to Minmus. Once we arrived here, we were able to complete 4 separate landings to 4 separate landing zones. We have very much exceeded expectations and have full confidence that we can complete not just 1 but 2 more landings. So this video will take 2 landings, having the fact that we've already landed at all of the flat spots on Minmus. We will be taking these landings to someplace more exciting. Parts of our thoughts here are the lowlands, which I believe are on this little peninsula-y thing right here, which would be exciting. Also, there are some midlands over here. I think it's over here, which would be our 2 potential landing zones. Yeah, that said, we're coming up kind of fast and high over here, so we're going to wait until we're on the opposite side of Minmus before we begin these launches. So let's go ahead and just get over there. So far these 2 craft have performed better than I would have thought. In terms of fuel efficiency, we've been very good with our landings. I do not believe that there's any chance we'll get a 7th site, but to be able to get 6 sites off of a single launch is pretty spectacular. Far above and beyond anything we've done before. This should easily crush our old science record. Let's go ahead and just get things set up here so that we can start to come up with the burn we will need to do to get us home, or not home, to get us to our targeted landing zone. We are set prograde with respect to this craft. We will rotate, get ourselves up to a good steering point. Prograde. Let's deploy our panels. Let's just do one last fuel check, make sure everything is where it belongs. Monopropellant is full. Goo canisters are clean. Liquid fuel and oxidizer are full. Monopropellant is full. Batteries and monopropellant are full. Everything looks good. We're going to go ahead and send Bill back down to the surface. These landings becoming routine now for Bill. Never thought we would have heard that going to Minmus was going to become routine. SAS not on. There we go. We'll push it out here a little bit. Very much on the money for glide path. Now the planet is rotating beneath us, or Minmus is rotating beneath us. So wherever we... I had an idea. I believe this area here is lowlands. I think this area is highlands. Or maybe I'm mistaken, maybe this is low, this is mid, this is high. Either way, this looks like slope. If I could land on one And since I'm not transmitting my goo canisters, I'm actually taking them. If I could land on one, run my experiments, take off a little bit, and land on the other, that would be something truly, truly amazing. And I'm greedy enough to try it. Let's go ahead and make sure that we are clear of our parent vessel. We are. If this landing goes well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to double our landings on this one. Bill, not happy about that prospect. Ooh, that did not go well. We're going to do a secondary maneuver. Well, that is rotating us towards us, but that is a sharp, sharp, sharp angle. But I don't want to hit slope. Alright, we're going to keep that as is. Now, one thing to keep in mind is what makes this landing much more perilous than our previous landings is that we don't know what the altitude is. We just don't know. We can guess that it'll be roughly 2,500 meters because of where the terrain level was when we were landed on the flats, when we started to clear it. But we don't know for sure. That said, that peril comes with the advantage of we'll be higher up on the surface when we go to take off, meaning that we will need less fuel to get into our standard rendezvous orbit. A few questions from ground control to Bill to make sure that his life insurance is up to date, because this is a hell of an angle. Doesn't look like it's going to be too bad, actually, with the rotation there. We want to come down as soon as we cross over what I believe to be, this is slope. Let's go ahead and set your craft facing the right way here, Bill. Let's go ahead, make sure our engine is on. It is. RCS thrusters are on. Let's start burning that lateral speed as fast as we can. This does in fact count as Midlands. 120 meters per second. This actually looks like it's going to be pretty smooth. I'm kind of excited. Ooh, where we're so sideways, we're going to go ahead and retract our panels, just in case I don't make the turn quick enough. Come on, where are you, Bob? Apparently this is lowlands now. I don't see a shadow. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. "60 meters per second's a little fast. There's my shadow. It's coming up to meet me pretty quickly. We're going to start the engine just to make sure that this doesn't go horrible. Mostly lateral side movement now. I'm just hoping that this doesn't constitute as slopes. It looks kind of slopish. Oops. Whoops-a-daisy. It's kind of a rough landing, but not too bad. This constitutes as lowlands, not midlands. EVA report from just above the lowlands. Got that. Gravity scan just above Minmus slopes. That's good. Gravity scan just above Minmus's midlands. I wanted it just above the lowlands though, so we're actually going to go. There we are. Then landed at the lowlands. Seismic. Temperature. Crew report. Did I do a crew report? From the lowlands, I did. Temperature, seismic, gravity. I am going to attempt. I'm going to be greedy. And no, you know what? I'm going to take both readings now, and if I do get lucky and land a second time, then I can reset the canister and grab that. But if I don't, then no problem. I will just not get that data, and I'll just hold on to the one that I got. That's using your noodle. Let's take our EVA report. Let's take our sample. We're going to do our victory jump. It's brought us good luck so far. Why mess with something like that? All right. These are going to be the lowlands. Little inappropriate there, Bill. Grab that. We're going to go ahead and just open up a couple of our solar panels, recharge our batteries. And this might be a little boring for a moment, but I just want to try to figure out my best course of action. I would love to grab a second landing zone. From here. Look at my little makeshift map here. And here we are in lowlands. I really, honestly, truly believe that these are midlands and these are highlands. Now, I don't think I can grab both. Well, I don't have enough goo canisters to grab both on this. But if I could do a hop, skip, and a jump and get over to those highlands, I mean, normally I use 100 units of monopropellant to get to where I am right now, and I still have 8 left on that, and I normally have 100 units left over. So if it usually takes me 50 and 15 to get into orbit, then I still have a fair amount to play with here to try to hop over to another landing site. And I'm going to try it. Things have gone very, very well for us. And I know I have no reason to expect things to go so well. Let's see, that's 270. So we want about 225. But things, they've gone well, and I want to push that envelope. So, without further ado, let's go ahead, take off here. Burn a little bit of fuel. Looks like I'm actually burning the opposite direction that I want to go. Constitutes lowlands. Honestly, that right there looks like it brings me onto Midlands. Oh, that's not the direction I meant to go in, but it brings me... Oh, but I haven't crossed my apoapsis yet, so I look silly. So we leap our way up this mountain. This constitutes his Midlands right now. The idea, of course, being that I want to land up here and not down where it's awful. Let's go ahead and turn our ship around the way we like it so that the controls aren't screwing with us. No need to fight those two. Let's go ahead and angle ourselves up so we can land over here. Looking good. So far, looking good. I do honestly think that constitutes Highlands and will have been so close to being able to grab all three. But, obviously I can't get that greedy. Oops. Turn that off. Let's go ahead and bleed off as much of this speed as we can now. Solar panels are retracted, so we're not going to damage anything. Except for maybe our pride. Bill, unbelievably excited to try to pull off this unprecedented journey here. Meters per second. It's a gentle whisper, really. There's our shadow. This is from Lowlands. These are the ones that we're working for this one. This is from the Midlands. This constitutes slopes. That's a little bit of a problem for me. I don't want to land on slopes. Again, a problem. I don't want to land on slopes. So we're going to go ahead and do an abort of this. We're going to try to get up to the next stop. I don't want to be on the slopes. Bill's sad that we're taking him away from the landing site we promised him. New landing site will be up here, hopefully. Come on, Nem, you gotta start watching your fuel now. You don't want to get like this greed get in the way of getting our friend home. I want to lose that. I want to lose anything going in that direction. Anything less than 20, and I really do have to do a full abort here. Nope, turn those off so I'm not wasting fuel. Okay, what does this constitute as? Highlands. So this is what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to touch down right here. One of the highest points we've seen on this surface. This is going to put us at a different inclination, so we are going to need more fuel than normal to get back to our mothership. Just above the highlands, didn't give us anything. That's it, we've exhausted our tolerance for that fuel. some reason I'm in orbit. Oh, heavens. This is bad. This is bad. So we will not be leaping from the top of this mountain, because that will indeed put us into orbit. Oh, heavens. So that is our second landing on one tank of fuel, really. Alright, so electrical charge is dying pretty quickly. Let's get these panels out. That was awful. Terrifying, even. Extend those. Nah, it wasn't that terrifying, but I was certainly nervous when we started to tumble. We're going to review reports. We're going to send our first report. We're going to transmit that home. How much science is the crew report? 25. So that will be something that sadly we are not going to be able to do. This is, I gotta remind myself, this is entirely bonus territory. So we'll hold on to that for now. We're going to reset the goo canister. We're going to observe the goo canister from the highlands. Excellent. We're going to take seismic data. We're going to take a thermometer reading. We've got that. Crew report, we can't. Temperature, yes. Seismic, yes. Gravity, yes. EVA while flying high, yes. Goo, yes. Sample and EVA report. Again, we're going to be very careful considering we're technically in orbit here. We're going to resist the urge to jump. We're going to get our EVA report. We're going to take our surface sample. Site name will be the Highlands. Rocky Mountain High, of course, because that landing was in fact rocky. It was on the way to the Highlands. Okay. Now, strictly speaking, we are not in an orbit that is going to intercept our friends, but we'll deal with that in a minute. We're going to actually aim for an orbit that comes slightly below it. It'll be a little tricky, but I think we can do this. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to utilize our monopropellant first. We're already in an orbit of 10.1 meters per second just by sitting here. Um, 270 is actually flying towards the camera a little bit. Okay, so we will take off. in orbit already. That was fast. We're at one of the highest points, so I don't have to worry about colliding with anything. Fuel consumption is my #1 priority here. I was worried that it was telling me my apoapsis wasn't getting any higher. Already an apoapsis of 10 kilometers means that it's time to start widening out our arc here. Well, that's a little disconcerting. We'll just keep this going then. An eerily short amount of monopropellant left. We've never had numbers this low. But we are only aiming to have one more landing. That looks like it's going to be a big maneuver, but we'll figure that out when we get there. If I would have put an antenna on this thing, we could have gotten that one extra experiment, but it's alright. We can't think of it that way. We need to think of it as getting that by having a good landing site and a good craft, we were able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional experiments, not missing one experiment. Taking off from that mountain has proved to be pretty easy. Would have been better, actually. If I'm honest, we should have waited until the mountain was underneath the glide scope. That's what we should have done. We were impatient, and it's going to cost us a lot of fuel to get in line. But that's I'm not going to say it's a rookie mistake, but that's a foolish mistake to have made. Waiting would have been a veteran maneuver. How about that? There we are. 47 is going to be the order for that. In doing so, I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to match us up. No. Start with getting things on an even keel. Then we'll worry about the rendezvous. One problem at a time. Let's go ahead. Flip us around. Oh, sorry. I forgot what the maneuver was I was doing. 27 units remain of monopropellant, so this is all going to have to be main engine. We don't want to blow by it like we did on our first attempt at this mission. Alright, our first burn for this mission around Minmus. 47 seconds seems like a perfect time. And I blew past it. Looks good. Looks real good. Next thing we're going to want to look into I'm actually pretty far below them. I don't want to go that far out. Oh, that looks pretty good. .1 kilometers. That's gonna be it. That's the burn we want. The amount of fuel we're going to be returning with is how much fuel I had budgeted originally for how much fuel it would take us to land on Minmus and return. So, pretty cool that we're able to get 2 landings out of that. So we're able to get lowlands and highlands, which means that if for our next .7 kilometers. If I go prograde, do I bring that down? 1.4, 1.3. One kilometer. If I can find it and go there in 10 seconds. Come on, come on, turn around. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Puts us within 1 kilometer. Oh. Oh, shoot. There. Perfect. So again, this, like all of these videos, has taken longer than I had anticipated, but we did get 2 landings out of it, and we'll be doing a 7th landing and then heading home. Oh. Crap. Yeah, we don't really have a choice about how close that brings us. I don't want to crash into the surface of Minmus here. And that's another reason why I tend to keep this view open. So I can see crap like that. That would have been horrific. Oh man. What a terrible disaster that would have been. That's our closest point. No problems there. Six kilometers. We'll try once more to try to 30 kilometers. You know what? 6 kilometers is really not that far. Is it as close as I want? No. But I'm not going to go messing this up now. Let's go ahead and bring the speed between us down to 0. We can come out of this view now. All this means is that we will just probably have to do a few of these small burns. Because we're 6 kilometers away. If I start to fly towards him, we're going to drift apart before I have time to catch up. Up to about 10 meters per second. Next closest point is going to be 3.3. Coming up here. Oh, but we're closer than 3.3 now, so the computer doesn't know what it's talking about. This used to be so incredibly difficult before Makachev came around and before we were given the ability to target things. Rendezvous was... I mean, I remember before we even had docking bays, my first set of rendezvous took forever. Just absolutely forever of trying to just niche them closer and closer together. And I think at their closest point I got them to about 50 meters and kept just kind of drifting away. And I'm sure it was a combination of, one, the limited data that was given to us from the game at the time, as well as my limited experience in doing it and knowledge of orbital mechanics, but that took forever. I know that a lot of players used to make ships with forward-facing landing gear that would clamp down as a way to dock onto other ships, including myself. I actually was able to rescue a command pod that had gone off drifting by clamping it with a bunch of legs and doing an EVA to get them in. And in those days you used to have to launch with 3 crew members whether you wanted them or not. So I made one of my Kerbals get out on the landing zone, on the launch pad, to just wait for us to come back. Kind of forgot what I was doing here, so I'm screaming in at 12 meters per second. Time to switch over to the precision monopropellant. Okay, let's go ahead and point ourselves towards our friends. Hey guys, how you doing? Let's go ahead and point ourselves. Looks like I don't see him. Now I know I could just point and look and whatnot, but I like to just try to get the angle as close as I can by doing it the proper way and setting it up with my marker. Less chance of a silly mistake, as they say. Oops. There we go. Rotate now. And there we go. Bill, becoming an absolute expert at rendezvous docking. There we go. Very close on fuel there. Very close. I mean, just overall compared to our previous missions. Empty, empty, empty. Still has some. So, refueling in process. Then we will collapse our solar panels. We'll transfer our experiments, and then sadly this has been another 50 minutes of your life gone by. Hopefully, hopefully it was somewhat entertaining for the parts of it that you watched. And I mean, loads of science happened. Can't argue that. That is the end of that set of tanks. All of those are empty, all of those are empty. So with this, this will basically exhaust all of the monopropellant that I have available on my parent craft. And I mean, I don't have any other reserve tanks or anything. So with that, the next set of landings, if I could nail 2 areas, that would be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen. Or if I could do it using only 66 units of monopropellant, which, again, I don't think is going to happen, considering I've been using on average 150 per mission. But liquid fuel has been good. So yeah, next set should be our last set of landings, and then we'll go home and pray that we make it home. How awesome, and by awesome I mean so unbelievably terrible would it be to go through all of this and then not have the fuel to get home. You better believe the rescue mission to come save us would be underway immediately to recover that science. Alright. We'll go ahead and send Jebediah out one more time. And if things go well, one time after this, to recover our experiments. I'm going to take that data. I'm going to collect the data. Take. 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 Nothing there to take. I'm curious how, I'm assuming all of this information is stored on micro SD cards, and that's how he's able to carry all of this. Okay. "19 experiments. retrieved. Oops. "13 experiments in here, 56 experiments in here, 56 experiments. That's a lot. Let's go ahead and clean those. Mystery goo units are clean. Panels are extended for our next go. So there we have it. Our 7th area of the moon explored. We have landed on it 6 times in this mission alone, missing only a single report from this mission, at least that I know of. And next time we come back, we will journey down to Minmus one final time. We will hope to grab the Midlands as our destination. I do not believe our inclination here would allow us to go over the poles, and I think the Midlands and the poles are the only 2 biomes we have left. Let's go ahead and look here. Yeah, nowhere near getting up on those poles. Getting up on those poles. Oh, you sly dog. That said, we're going to do everything we can to have a nice, safe close out to this mission, and then head home, where we will face a new set of challenges, such as how to get our scientists back. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.